Hey, I've just caught up with Professor Russell Foster to talk about dreams. Check this out. Okay, so physiologically, what's going on in sleep? Tell me what's happening in the brain during sleep and what's happening to the body.
Okay, so whilst we sleep, overall we are obviously not moving around, but there are key things going on within the brain. So our memory consolidation, our ability to take in those facts during the day and then consolidate them to memory whilst we're asleep. But it's not just the retention of facts. The thing that sort of emerged in the past few years is that we're processing information. So if you want to come up with innovative solutions to complex problems, a night of sleep can hugely enhance your ability to do that. Another thing that's emerged in the past few years is the clearance of toxins from the brain that have built up during the wake state. And one particular misfolded protein called beta amyloid, its accumulation within the brain has been associated with dementia and Alzheimer's. And some very nice studies started in the Netherlands showed that with relatively small levels of sleep deprivation, you could actually detect higher levels of beta amyloid within the cerebral spinal fluid and actually deposited within the brain. And that mechanism might underpin the observation that poor sleep, very poor sleep in the middle years, can be a risk factor for dementia and Alzheimer's in later years. Now, I wouldn't say poor sleep is going to cause dementia, but I think it is a risk factor in those individuals who are vulnerable. So masses of essential stuff going on within the brain. And of course, sleep itself is divided into both the REM and the non-REM cycle.
That's what I wanted to ask you about, the phases. Talk me through the phases of a good night's sleep.
So we go from a relaxed state and then we descend through 3 stages of non-REM sleep into this sort of deep, high amplitude, slow oscillation, electrical waves that you can record from the surface of the skull, that represent the sum of activity from the brain. And it's thought that we do most of our sort of memorization and the processing of information during deep sleep. In fact, deep sleep is heavily defended. If we're deprived of sleep, you actually see the following night, when you are allowed to sleep, much more deep sleep. So it's an active defended process.
So the body goes and grabs it back the next night, doesn't it? Right?
Yeah. It's almost, as it were, homeostatically controlled. And then, of course, you jump from the deep sleep, stage 3 non-REM sleep. You go through the stages and then you hit this rapid eye movement or REM sleep, where in fact the electrical activity in the brain looks like you're awake, except for the fact that your eyes are closed and your eyes under your eyelids are moving very rapidly under the lids, hence the definition of rapid eye movement sleep. But also during REM sleep, you're paralyzed from the neck downwards. So you can't move. And it's thought that because during REM sleep we have our most vivid and complicated dreams, we're actually inhibiting ourselves from moving around and perhaps even acting out those dreams. There are conditions, for example, where that paralysis doesn't occur. Called REM behavioral disorder, and where that doesn't occur, people have thrashed out. Some husbands have even killed their wives under those circumstances. So it's actually a really extraordinary cycle. And you can go through 5, sometimes 6 of these non-REM, REM cycles every night, because the cycle takes about 70 to 90 minutes to complete, going from sort of the REM state back down through the non-REM and then back up to REM again. So it's a complicated set of interactions within the brain involving all the brain neurotransmitter systems and an interaction between multiple brain structures.
If you want more with Professor Russell Foster and our other amazing guests, check out the episode Decoding Dreams with the Undeceptions podcast.